I want to pull up the next element of the Bethany McGee story. Now, again, we have from the New York Post leading this off with Bethany McGee. She was the victim who was set on fire on the CTA train by a thug with 72 arrests. 72. But there's another element that is going viral in this story, and it is this image. Now, I can say this. I went on to Facebook, searched for the individual in question, and this is a screenshot that I found. There is now a lot of criticism. There are a lot of people on the right that are mocking her, saying she supported the very policies that resulted in this man getting released, and then he took it out on her. There are some people that are lamenting the fact that these young women are brainwashed into supporting politics that result in themselves being victimized and immolated. And, you know, I want to say it is sad that here's what I'll say. There's a certain degree of this may not be real. I'm not sure. I went on Facebook, found the profile, the photos from 5 years ago. It appears to be real. It has been reported on by numerous other people that she was a supporter of Black Lives Matter. But how many people put this up not knowing what it meant and did it anyway? The issue is large portions of urban liberals are brainwashed into supporting politics that are killing them. And what is the answer? Now, a lot of people have said, why did you leave Chicago, Tim? I don't want to die. Being shot at once was enough. Seeing fights break out with guns is enough. But this is it. What can you do when you have an entrenched 100-year Democrat order in the city? I can't do anything about that. I can be more effective not being shot and being outside of the city and advocating against it. But yes, people like me leave, and now the city is becoming more and more like this. So I'm curious, how do you guys view this, that this woman made these posts? And many people pointed out there's a photo of Irina Zarutska even in a room with, I think it was a BLM poster, but people were saying that wasn't her poster, it was her sister's or something to the effect. But either way, there's a lot of people that are sort of, I don't want to say celebrating, but saying like, hey, you reap what you sow.
I wouldn't celebrate it, but it's just proof that they're in a cult and they don't realize that they're sacrificing themselves to it.
I don't even know that they're in a cult, because I think that most people, like Tim said, the propaganda is so strong. Before Black Lives, the summer of 2020, the Black Lives Matter protests and riots and stuff, if you ask the average person on the left, they would say, you say, how many innocent black men do you think are killed per year? They were saying hundreds or thousands. Yeah, and the real number was your average of like 12 or 13. Mm-hmm. People are so propagandized by the left and by the narrative that the left wants. This woman is a victim twice. She was a victim first of propaganda, lies meant to essentially turn her political perspective so that way people that were on the left could essentially get political power, get votes, and they were pulling at the heartstrings. And then she's a victim because the man decided that he wanted to immolate her.
And what I'm saying is, like, I think a large part of the population was hoodwinked into being in a cult. They don't realize they're in a cult, and they're promoting their own demise. It only took 5 years for the things they promoted to destroy their cities and take their lives.
I mean, definitely hoodwinked. They've been lied to, and it's been effective, and it's been at least since Ferguson. The whole hands up. Remember, hands up, don't shoot. That was a lie. And it was constant, over and over, just fed to you by CNN, MSNBC, and all of your major news networks. People believe it, and they vote accordingly, and then you end up having people pay the price, which is terrible. Yeah. But they're victims multiple times. I can't hate this girl for what she had, or I can't be angry with her for what she posted, because she believed it, and she thought she was doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. And I feel sorry for her, because she was propagandized and because she's...
Here's another question. When the Antifa guy goes outside and protests, can you blame him?
I mean, protesting?
No.
If he's just protesting...
Wearing a mask and marching the street with a fist in the air, can you blame him?
I feel like he's a victim as well of propaganda. When it starts to be rioting,
where's the line? When
hurting your... like people's property, people being violent.
What if this person is going door to door and handing out flyers and spreading the propaganda? See, here's my point. We want to have sympathy for those that were tricked, but sooner or later, that whole mob of people who are tricked are forming the sphere that protects the psychopaths, the criminals. Right. So I look at like this, the Bolshevik Revolution. They're all tricked. They all believe the communism didn't work. It ended up killing 100+ million people. Yeah. the snowflake doesn't blame itself for the avalanche.
Well, then we should hold all the news media accountable as well for all their propaganda, because they're just as bad in my mind as Antifa protesting and everything they were saying during lockdowns.
I don't disagree. My point is simply, with some sympathy for this woman who was immolated, to try and go easy on it because she's posted this BLM thing. Yeah. I'm not going to be as forgiving. I do blame those that are spreading propaganda. You have a responsibility to understand what you are advocating for. And if you go out advocating for evil, I'm sorry, the idea that there is banal evil does not make you innocent. It doesn't absolve you of what you've committed.
So I want to give her a little grace. She's the victim of a horrendous, heinous, disgusting crime by a disgusting, evil thug that should have been locked up a long time ago. But I do think it's a little bit ghoulish and gross to dig through her politics and find something you may disagree about, and then by virtue of that sort of justify the violence against her. I think BLM is stupid and gross, and the defund the police movement was stupid and gross. But on the other side, I've seen people on the left say, oh, if you support gun rights, then if you are a victim of gun violence, you deserved it because you support a system that allowed for that to happen. And I think gross and disgusting and ghoulish when people on the left do that. People did that with Charlie Kirk. They will play the video of him saying, people do die, and it's an unfortunate reality that gun violence happens. But
we get it. Charlie Kirk never advocated for assassinations, so the hypocrisy and the paradox doesn't play here.
He's advocated that as a result of the Second Amendment, people will die as a result of gun deaths because of how common guns are.
And it sounds like that's still not the same thing. He's not advocating for these things to happen. He's saying sometimes they happen.
Well, with her having an outline of a BLM thing, she's not advocating for what?
She's advocating for a political system in which these criminals get released 72 times. When a guy went out to a protest several years ago during the George Floyd riots and got shot in the junk with a canister, everyone on the right laughed at him and said, "You reap what you sow."
I think she's
There's videos of a guy in I think it was Seattle or Portland who threw a firebomb and then got lit on fire, and everyone laughed at him. Mm-hmm. So my point is, I think it is hypocritical of the right to now all of a sudden be like, no, let's have grace for these people when they're happy to mock people depending on the line in which the line was crossed. So a guy who smashes a firebomb and lights himself on fire, everybody laughs and posts the video in compilations. They add music to it. The guy who gets shot in the junk with a canister by cops because he was at a protest, they mocked him, even though the guy didn't do anything. I want to stress this. This guy's at a protest and he's pointing and yelling at cops. He gets shot in the junk and everyone's laughing at him.
I don't think we should just try to prescribe this woman the worst politics
but
that we could
I'm
think
not.
of to
I'm
justify.
saying,
I think she could just possibly have been an impressionable young woman who was misled to believe that police are disproportionately killing black people for whatever reason because the police are racist. She was fed that line by the mainstream media, and then she put up a stupid thumbnail over her photo, not understanding the true depths of what's going on.
I am not blaming her for anything. I'm saying there is a banality of evil, and to say she doesn't bear some responsibility for the ongoings because she's ignorant of it as a young woman, I believe that is hypocritical.
Do you think by virtue of having the BLM thing on that photo that she is deserving of being immolated by that? I'm asking you. You don't think
no,
that, right?
Of course not.
Okay, good.
The point is, this is a product of her own politics, and the argument that she's unaware is not an excuse.
I think women have really shirked responsibility. And society has allowed women to escape responsibility. Women simultaneously want all of the rights of today and all of the responsibility of today, supposedly, but they also want to be coddled and treated like they were before the 19th Amendment was ratified.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I do think it's fair to say that the media takes advantage of young women and manipulates and preys on them because they know that they are emotional and impressionable, whether it's Black Lives Matter or social justice, but also things like you need to have your career before you get married and have kids. And young women are being prescribed SSRIs and anti-anxiety meds at faster rates, that the rates are growing faster than young men at this point. When you look at polls of happiness among young women, it's horrific to see just how quickly they're degrading. So I think you can be a victim, but also responsible for your own life and happiness at the same time.
If we don't tell people that they bear some responsibility for the world that they create, then we just spiral into madness. This whole don't blame the victim thing from the left went to the most absurd, psychotic degree. Listen, If you choose to use an ATM in a dark alley at 2 a.m. in New York City, I got questions. I'm not going to say you get robbed and you're like, I can't believe I got robbed. We shouldn't live this way. That's fair. We shouldn't. But there is a reality.
People are, specifically women, are told constantly, oh, you know what? Teach men not to rape. Right. And that's exactly which is exactly what our society does. Right. Our society definitely teaches men, hey, you don't rape people. Like that's universally frowned upon.
How much of this then is a decline of religion too? Because a lot of this, when we're talking about banality of evil, I think people now, because they don't learn about good versus evil and those things as objective truths, they think that everybody can be reformed, that there's not just like pure evil.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.